لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك محمد نبينا بنور هدينا محمد نبينا بنور هدينا.
As part of plans to contain any security breach during the forthcoming Hajj, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria (NAHCON) has inaugurated the 2018 Hajj Security Committee. Ismail Abba Yusuf is the chairman of the committee. While unveiling the committee, NAHCON Chairman Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Muhammad appealed to its members to work harmoniously for the benefit of Nigerian pilgrims.
I want to say, those that served in the past, particularly the committees that I have worked with, right from my time as Commissioner in charge of operation up to when I became the chairman, they have done wonderfully well. They have worked tirelessly, they have coordinated themselves, they have worked in harmony among themselves, and they have exhibited a spirit of teamwork. So I urge you also to have this teamwork spirit among yourselves, because one of you cannot do it.
The NAHCON boss further urged the committee to always ensure that the interest of Nigerian security is protected. The Security Committee draws its members from security-related agencies. The chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria (NAHCON), Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Muhammad, has called on journalists covering the Hajj beat to focus on the reportage of activities that will educate and better inform pilgrims and the general public. He stated this at the inaugural ceremony of the 2018 National Media Team. It took place at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja.
We are embarking on a national assignment which we have duty to make sure that it succeeds. It's an exercise that Nigeria will partake among community of other nations, and our actions and inactions will say a lot about who we are and what we represent.
The chairman further reiterated the commitment of NAHCON to improve on Hajj coverage, saying that the commission will support journalists to carry out their duties effectively. Responding, the chairman of the committee, Bayo Ateobi, stressed the need for journalists to adhere strictly to the ethics of their professions as well as Islamic injunctions.
So having a united team that will report the activities of Hajj and Umrah. We are professionals, and as professionals, we like our independence and we like to do our job. Also as professionals, we also know that there are rules guiding our responsibility. There are codes of ethics, there are do's and there are don'ts of what we can do.
Everything that is in this program is...
Meanwhile, a workshop for members of the national media team for this year's Hajj took place at the National Mosque, Abuja, under the auspices of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. It was designed to acquaint the journalists with issues relating to Hajj activities.
This makes it necessary to always strategize.
NAHCON Chairman Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Muhammad, represented by the Commission's Commissioner of Policy, Personnel Management and Finance, Dr. Yusuf Adebayo, called on participants to engage in responsible reportage to ensure that pilgrims get value for their money.
There is the need for effective communications that will guarantee that the interests of the pilgrims are met. These interests vary from transportation, health, welfare, education to their hygiene, and host of others. The major thrust of this meeting, therefore, ends on the media as the cornerstone of public affairs.
And to avoid things that smear the image of the country.
Guest speaker at the occasion, Professor Saleh Okenwa, presented a paper titled The Essence and Benefits of Hajj, the Practical Ways of Performing Hajj and Umrah.
Proper orientation of the pilgrims is necessary in order for them to develop the right frame of mind needed to cope with the physical, social, economic, and diplomatic challenges associated with the performance of Hajj in this era. If that is not done, or is done but not properly, everybody will suffer for it. The officials, not exempted. The pilgrim will suffer in that he may not even perform a valid Hajj. The officials will suffer with indiscipline, misbehavior of the pilgrims, and so many things. And the country will suffer because the pilgrims will smear its image in the international fora.
Other speakers touched on various aspects of Hajj, which include components of Hajj fare, guidelines for national media team, the role of Saudi Ministry of Hajj in Hajj and Umrah, pilgrims' education and orientation, the airlift of pilgrims, and meeting medical needs of pilgrims. At the end of the workshop, participants were issued certificates of attendance. Still on 2018 Hajj preparations, the National Ulama Committee held a strategic meeting and discussed ways of guiding pilgrims on how best to perform Hajj rites. The meeting was held at the National Mosque in Abuja. While addressing members of the committee, NAHCON Chairman Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Muhammad, represented by Professor Abubakar Mustafa, said their role as guides is very critical to the success of Hajj.
They will show you where you should go. That is the guide. Not only teaching alone, but also guidance. Because teaching and guidance come together.
On his part, Chairman of the Ulama Committee, Professor Saleh Okenwa, said the idea of having a National Ulama Committee was conceived by NAHCON to complement states in the training of ulamas.
The National Ulama was constituted to train or to assist those enlightenment officers.
After adopting plans for the 2018 Hajj, members commented on other issues.
I think with the invention of the modern technology and its expansion as well, we need to derive from its advantages. We need to have like a control room, or rather a fatwa room in Saudi, where ulama will be there regularly 247 responding to Hujjaj inquiries.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, plans to kick off the airlifting of Nigerian pilgrims late this month. This indicates that preparations for the Hajj journey have heightened. In order to evaluate the level of preparedness for the Hajj, NAHCON held a stakeholders meeting titled Final Preparatory Meeting for 2018 Hajj. This was on Thursday, the 5th of July 2018 at the auditorium of the National Mosque, Abuja. Present at the meeting were the chairmen or executive secretaries of state pilgrims boards, agencies or commissions, federal lawmakers, representatives of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Health, as well as airline operators and officials of the aviation industry, among others.
Our preparation.
Speaking at the event, NAHCON Chairman Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Muhammad said the meeting was designed to evaluate the preparations for 2018 Hajj in order to have proper planning. Furthermore, he said, sequel to the request made by President Muhammadu Buhari asking the Saudi government to reconsider its plan for biometric capturing of Nigerian pilgrims, the Saudi consulate in Nigeria has agreed to deploy more machines and personnel to states for the exercise. NAHCON chairman then instructed state boards to get themselves ready for the capturing.
On this, I would like to appeal to the states to immediately put in place the following: adequate, effective internet facility in your offices, security arrangement in your offices.
In furtherance of these, arrangements for the vaccination of pilgrims have also been made.
Adequate vaccines have been procured. States should liaise with the primary healthcare offices in your states so that appropriate vaccination will be applied to the pilgrims, and we have to ensure that we comply with all the international laid down regulations of vaccination so that our pilgrims will get into the kingdom without any suspicion.
I declared the 21st of July as the date for the commencement of airlift operations of Nigerian pilgrims to Saudi Arabia, with Kogi State pilgrims being the first batch. On the 2018 Hajj fair, Barrister Abdullahi Mukhtar appreciated all stakeholders for being part of the efforts that led to the reduction of the fare compared to 2017.
With our collective efforts, we were able to bring down the cost of the Hajj fare compared to 2018. I must commend the resilience, the sense of patriotism shown by the various committees that were assigned to negotiate the various services with full participation of the State Pilgrims Welfare Board and agencies. Without that singular effort, the fare for 2018 could have skyrocketed much more than that of 2017.
Other issues contained in the chairman's speech include national medical team, pilgrims visa processing, introduction of Hajj savings scheme, and engagement of airliners. In their separate remarks, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Senator Mansurat Sumonu, and Chairman House Committee on Nigerian-Saudi Parliamentary Friendship and Hajj Affairs, Honorable Abdullahi Salame, applauded stakeholders for their positive contributions to make the forthcoming Hajj hitch-free.
We are ready and we are prepared, fully prepared to cooperate with you again this year. And if there's anything that you think that we can do to improve all the services, please do not hesitate to contact us. I mean, the majority of the people here have our numbers. So we shall happy Hajj in advance and Hajj in Quran.
The House of Representatives, particularly the Committee on Nigerian Saudi Arabian Parliamentary Friendship and Hajj Affairs, has noted with interest the level of progress made by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, in its preparation towards smooth and successful 2018 Hajj exercise. This is evidence through regular briefing and periodic updates to the committee. Equally, the committee has taken note of the efforts and contribution made by all the stakeholders alike toward a successful 2018 Hajj outing.
The Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Hajia Khadija Bukar Abba Ibrahim, represented by Ambassador Haliru Sodangi, advised officials and stakeholders associated with the Hajj exercise to always respect the needs of pilgrims.
All of us here, if there are no pilgrims, we won't be here. So in the field of diplomacy, this exercise or Hajj exercise, the Western people call it cultural diplomacy, but we call it religious diplomacy, which is people-to-people diplomacy. So we are all representatives here. So what is needed is sincerity, because these people is purely representational. These people are not there.
Issues discussed at the meeting generated questions, comments, and observations from participants. In an interview, stakeholders disclosed their plans for the operations.
We are providing 3 wide-bodied aircrafts, that's 747-400 as usual, and we are ready. We have the aircrafts ready for the operation. We also have the required personnel, that is the pilots, the engineers, the mechanics, even the ground staff. Everybody is now ready to for this Hajj operation.
And give thanks to Allah that we've been able to come up with the additional aircraft to our fleet, which is a Boeing 777 in addition to our 767, and we intend to use this aircraft to Jeddah and to Medina. And simultaneously we complete all the exercise by the grace of God in due time, and we ensure that the other necessary services, the carriage of pilgrim, the carriage of baggage, and the carriage of services to the pilgrim, as been said, is done with diligence and with sincerity of purpose.
When performing Hajj, pilgrims are expected to observe all of its rites as stipulated by Islam. But there are few peculiar to women.
Some women are forcing themselves to wear
Hajj
white.
Tonight, Malama Fatima Umar Bolori explains these Hajj rites that are peculiar to women. She begins by explaining the need to seek knowledge when embarking on Hajj.
First preparation for Hajj is to seek for knowledge, to know how to do it. Because every act of worship in Islam is based on knowledge. You have to seek for knowledge before going to any act of worship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Quran, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ.
What type of clothes are allowed to be worn by women in the course of the Hajj?
Some women are forcing themselves to wear white ihram, which they were allowed to wear any color, which it's much easier for them to maintain other colors than the white color. So you can wear any color as a woman in Hajj, but it should not be transparent, it should not be fitted, and so on, you understand.
How are women expected to chant the Talbiyah and other supplications?
For women, we don't have to raise our voices. We have to recite it quietly. And even in our day-to-day activities, we have to lower our voice, because it's part of good manners for a woman to talk quietly without raising her voice like a man. So we have to talk calmly and decently.
She sheds light on what women should do during the first 3 circumambulations of the Kaaba and when passing the green light sign during the movement between Safa and Marwa.
In Tawaf, men are supposed to jog in the first 3 Tawaf, but for women, they can walk normal. Also in Sa'i, it's all the same with the men, except that between that green light, men are supposed to jog. But for we women, we are not allowed to jog. We will walk normal, we'll just walk normally.
How should women move from Muzdalifah to Jamarat?
We should come out as soon as they called us. We should not waste time. We have to keep in time. We have to keep to time. And keeping to time is also part of the ibadah. So we have to do as they ask us to do.
What is the position of Islam on pregnant women wishing to perform the Hajj or Umrah?
Pregnant women are advised to postpone their Hajj, considering their health, because they can harm the baby and also they can harm themselves. Hajj is a stress work. It has more stress. So as a pregnant woman, you need to rest.
On the issue of some women taking pills to alter their monthly cycle during Hajj, she has this to say.
Women are advised not to take pills. since our religion allows us to do all the Hajj rites except Tawaf, so we don't have to take pills. Because pills has medically side effects. And this menstruation is also part of Ibadah. Whatever you have the intention of doing it, and this menstruation stop you from doing it, Allah will reward you for your intention. So women are advised not to take pills.
Women, as men, are also expected to be of good conduct and fear Allah as they carry out their Hajj exercise.
By behaving good, your Hajj will be accepted, and accepted Hajj has no reward less than Garden of Paradise.
Spotlight tonight focuses on activities of Ogun State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board. The board was established nearly 4 decades ago with the mandate to organize Hajj for Ogun State pilgrims. In 1983, late Governor Olabisi Onabanjo signed the Ogun State law which further strengthened the board operations. An amendment to the law was made by Governor Benga Daniel which came into effect in 2008. Currently, the board has 13 appointed members headed by a chairman with the responsibility of policy formulation for the smooth coordination of Hajj activities in the state. Dr. Ishaq Adebayo Yusuf is the chairman of the board. He explains more on its mission.
Our mission here is to take you down there to perform something that is obligatory on you from Almighty Allah, the fifth pillar of Islam.
For effective service delivery to pilgrims, the state governor, Senator Ibukunle Amosun, introduced various reforms in the board, particularly as it relates to appointing experts to manage the board.
We are reforming the Hajj. His Excellency, the governor of the state, is reforming all the parts of, all the aspects of the, what they call it, in the state. And including that aspect is the Hajj performance in the Holy Land, right? Since many years ago, right, before we came to the board, I think many things happened, and we try as reforming. His Excellency is trying to reform it, and that's why he should select somebody that can speak Arabic fluently and knows in and out of Mecca.
As NAHCON also introduced different reforms to sanitize Hajj management, the Ogun State Pilgrims Board is also keen into it.
The state implements whatever directive that comes from national. That is, when we talk of national, we are talking of NAHCON. And under normal circumstances, NAHCON is not unilaterally take decision like that. Before they take a decision that will be passed to us, they will first of all hold a meeting with the state chairman, but all the state boards, their chairmen.
To make the 2018 Hajj hitch-free, the board commenced early preparations which include pilgrims registration, enlightenment and medical screening, among others.
We are organizing a lot of programs, seminars for the pilgrims to give them awareness of what they are going to do, to give them the accurate knowledge of the way to perform the Hajj. That is the one we are giving them. And at the same time, we are trying as much as possible to fast-track the operation in terms of collecting the passport for them and collecting their data, so that everything will be ready before they fix it, the departure date. And the inoculation, the medical aspect.
Effective pilgrims education and screening contributed towards having well-behaved pilgrims from the states.
You cannot see us behaving wrongly in Saudi Arabia, because before we leave, the governor has warned us, the pilgrims members, that please make sure you do thorough screening and education to members, because they are the ambassadors of Ogun State in wherever they go.
The various departments at the board, namely administration and supplies, finance and accounts, among others, are working harmoniously to ensure the smooth running of Hajj activities. Pilgrims from Ogun State paid 1.4 million naira for the 2018 Hajj. This figure is 75,000 naira less than the 1.5 million naira paid in 2017. The money for Hadaya is not included in the package. It is left optional for pilgrims to pay through Jaiz Bank if the type of Hajj they want to perform has a provision for slaughtering animals. But pilgrims will be given $800, which is equivalent to 244,000 naira as their basic travel allowance BTA. It is a flat rate set by NAHCON for all pilgrims across the country.
إن الحمد والنعمة لك